Good news, everyone. We have soggy swords. In the last few episodes of Just Create, we've crashed a forklift through a wall, built giant air vents, met Dave, and expanded our golf course to 8 holes. Today, we're going to take a break from building holes, at least to begin with. We might end up building one towards the end of the episode, but I need a break from it, and I'm sure you do too. So today, we're going to make music, we're going to make mechanical doors, we're going to build a golf shop, and maybe even build a solid gold golf cart, just for funsies. So a few episodes back, I asked what you thought about introducing a couple of lighter knockback swords, and then Foxy went and made me a small mod pack. And the result was a resounding yes, people would like to see those in. So Foxy has now polished the mod pack and we've got it on the server. So we'll be playing around with these later today when we build our shop. First up though, I wish to make beautiful music and a giant mechanical door, which will eventually control entry to the course. So let's escape the golf course, grab our truck and head back upstairs. And I reckon we can get away with putting our truck in here. Yep, that's not going to break anything. Excellent. Always good to keep it close. Now, doorway. What I want to do first off is get rid of all of this black concrete, and we're going to make a proper door here. So I want it to be a mechanical door that opens when you pay a diamond, and that should be fairly straightforward, hopefully. So that flickering light doesn't get annoying, we're going to crank up our brightness while we work over here. Right, so a door. I want to have a great big door. I want it to look a little bit like a garage door, and I want it to slide up into the ceiling. That's my current thinking. So, we're going to have to move that shaft. But that should be easy enough. We just take it all out from here. Get a couple of encased chain drives in there and there. Reconnect that. And then we've got space for a door to slide up. Perfect. Question is, what do we want the door to look like? Now, initially, I'm thinking just like a garage door here. And I like the color, but it looks a little bit boring. Can we mess it up a bit? Let's maybe start by replacing this bottom row with copycat slabs. And if we rotate those round, that will give us a different edge. And do we want that edge, or do we want to connect it all? I think I prefer it with the second edge, actually. Yeah, let's go with that. Next question, what happens to the connected textures if I start taking out chunks and adding in stairs instead? Okay, they're still kind of connected, but the garage door does look a little bit more messed up. How about if I use bite blocks? Yep, also looks a little bit messed up, but I like it. And how about a vertical stair? Nope, not facing that way, but facing that way. All right, I quite like that. It looks a bit battered and bruised. And then how about maybe jamming in a light above it? We'll just cover up the front of that, but that should also provide a bit of light up here, so we'll be able to see this better when we put our brightness back down. And then we'll just cover that up. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now we need to work out a payment system. And I wonder, can we get away with just putting like a barrel here and then chutes down below? Is there space down here? Yes, lots of space. Excellent. So this should be fairly straightforward. And once we've got something in here, we'll connect that up to a door and we'll have this so it goes up and down. I reckon a sticky mechanical piston's going to be the best way. Maybe sticking one up the top there. We already know there's power behind that wall. And if we just slowly raise up the door and then lower it after, say, 20 seconds, once somebody puts a diamond in, then that'll start the game. Eventually, we're also going to want this to start a timer for the game as well, but we don't need to worry about that just yet. So this should be fairly straightforward. If we stick a barrel on there with an item hatch, filter for diamonds, put a smart chute, once again, filter for diamonds, just in case. And can we take this block out? No. So we will stick in another smart chute. I thought that might have been the case. And then we'll have an observer looking at that. Once again, checking for diamonds. And a barrel at the bottom to collect our payments. Although I guess what we could do is actually sell like tickets at the lobby shop. And then have it so that the players actually deposit a ticket instead of a diamond directly. And then I can actually just give away tickets and things like that as well. I think that's probably going to be a better method. So let's go choose what we're going to make these tickets out of. I mean, cardboard would make sense, wouldn't it? We are surrounded by the stuff after all. So now if we filter for these, 1x mini golf game, we'll make sure we set all of our filters and the observer. We'll keep some of those to ourselves, but the rest of these, I'm just going to go dump in the shop for now. Then if we go to Jimmy, do one of those, set the cost to a diamond, there we go. Then it's still going to cost a diamond, but everything's going to be in the same place. And this way, every time a ticket goes through, I can just return it back to the shop. We should just be able to stick a belt in that goes around the back here. So let's just grab a few bits and bobs and get that done. Now to make my life easier, I'm just going to grab a few volts here actually, because that way we can just extend out that, put the funnel on there, preferably set the right way around so it doesn't eject our clubs, and then we'll just get this connected up. There we go, that should do the trick. I just need to put a funnel on this box here. So that's all that's sorted. That means we'll be able to take a redstone signal from this observer and then use that to trigger a piston that will open the door. So the first thing we're going to do is glue the door together, of course, and then get out on top here. So what we want to do is have a sticky mechanical piston 4 blocks above. In fact, we're going to go 5 blocks above because that way we've got some space to actually get the power in. So we'll stick a shaft there and a sequenced gear shift. And then we need to get power to this thing. But I think the easiest way to get the power to it is going to be over here. Because what I want to make sure I'm doing is actually having a speed controller in here. We don't want this thing to be going too fast. Maybe only like sort of 12, I guess. That might be all right. But that's now got power going to the sequenced gear shift. So what we want this to do is move the piston by 5 meters, I guess, initially. Then we want to delay it, probably by about 5 or 6 seconds. But for now, we'll just do a small delay while we're testing. And we pretty much just need that. Then we need to add 5 extension poles, and I only picked up 4. I think we've still got more. Yep, plenty. So we just need 1 more of those. We're going to need a button for testing as well. Let's do that. And I guess for the first sequence, we actually just want this to get connected. So we probably want to set this to the end. And if we do that, I should connect to our door. Oh, okay, it's gone a bit far. So let's just pull it back by 1 meter. So that's its starting point. So if we do open it by 4 meters, do a time delay, and then go back by 4 meters. Now it should open the door, stop for a second, and then go back down again. So that's it, open, and now it's going back down. Perfect. And I'm actually going to set this to place only when anchor destroyed. I think that's probably what we want. And then we'll stick a redstone link underneath with an acacia slab. And I think I want to use a piece of ochrum for the other bits, just because that's probably going to be unique for me. We do, of course, have the system where I'm the only one that ever puts slabs, so it's not going to cross-reference with anyone else's redstone links, but I don't know what combinations I've used of slabs. So, yeah, let's just do this. Set that to receive. And then we'll link that to the observer down here that reads the tickets. So if I put this in there, that should open our door. Perfect. And it should stop there and then come back down again. Okay, that is awesome. That is all working just how we want. But it's a little bit boring. I mean, it looks cool when it goes up and down, but it just, there's no sound. I think we need some kind of dramatic musical entrance. So we're going to try something we've not done before, and that is making music with steam pipes. Or steam whistles, I should say. So let's get rid of all this stuff. And to do this, we're going to need a whole bunch of stuff we don't have. Although, we do have the target blocks, that's good. We've got some fluid tanks. We're probably going to want more. We're going to want a bunch of fireplaces, but it doesn't look like we've actually got any coal in here whatsoever. So we'll have to go make some of those. And we need lots of steam whistles. So yeah, we've got a few items that we need, but not a lot. But rumor has it, Chosen has updated his mall, the one that sells all the lovely andesite stuff. I think it sells even more cool stuff now. Let's go take a look. So what's changed in here? Ooh, there is new stuff. There's bricks. We don't really care about those. Okay, speed controllers, arms. Oh, he's doing all the gauges and the brass stuff. This is cool. This is very cool. This stuff's quite awkward to make. Oh, he's going to make even more money. He's already loaded from this place. Oh, there's even more over there. The harvesters and saws. I need some of these things. So let's just buy a bunch of them. Don't think we need any of this stuff. At least not right now. But that's awesome. He's selling lots of cool stuff now. This man knows how to make money. So I think I just need fireplaces, whistles, and maybe a bit more redstone. And then we should be good to try and make some dramatic kind of musical entrance thing for the door. So that's the campfires and the whistles. Oh, I needed redstone as well. Now I think that's all we need to be able to make noise with whistles. So let's just quickly check this though before we leave. So if we grab that, and that, this should make a whistle sound. Okay, cool. It definitely does. So alongside these other bits, we should be able to make some music. So I guess we're going to want to build this around the back here. Seems like the most logical place, because then we can just attach it directly to this thing. Let me just grab a few more blocks and we'll see if we can work something out down here. So, a small disclaimer before we start. I am not musical. Like, not even slightly. I have absolutely no idea what music means, really. As in, like, reading sheet music or anything like that. I cannot play any instruments and I can't sing. So apologies if I do upset people in the comment section who are musical. I probably won't be doing things correctly, saying things correctly, or making things that sound correct. But we're gonna try our best. So, I have a little plan of how we're gonna make these notes set off. So let's just start here. And I think we're going to try and do some chords. Yep, see, I know that's the thing. So that means we can have more than one note playing at a time, and it should just make the whole thing sound a little bit better. So we can do 4-note chords. Are we that brave? Let's put some steam whistles on the front. And in order to set all of these off at the same time, my thinking is if we use target blocks and then put a line of redstone across the top there, then when that gets power, everything goes off. Oh, hello. If you look at these, it actually tells you the pitch. It tells you what the notes are. And I think we can add like additional whistles. Yep. So that changes the notes. We might just be able to Google some chords. That'll help. So that's going to give us like a whole range of notes. Wow. Look, that's all that is. But I believe we can also wrench these things and then we get a different octave. Is it an octave, maybe? I think it's octave. So we've actually got 3 different sizes with about 10 notes on each one. So let's just reset everything to default and Google some nice chords. All right, I think I found something we're going to try and do. So first off, I need to set this to a lower octave, and then I need to set it to an A. And then we're going to set this one to an A, but leave it in the default octave. Then we need a C, and then we need an E. And that should sound good. So this is in the key of A minor, according to the YouTube video I'm currently looking at. But I don't know what that means. Right, let's see what it sounds like. Oh, that does sound dramatic, doesn't it? We need more, though. We definitely need more. So let's give ourselves a bit of space to work. Give ourselves some more tanks and whistles. And we'll do the target blocks and the redstone again. We're going to have to figure out how to set these off in sequence, but that's what I'm hoping the extenders and repeaters are going to be useful for. But for now, let's get some more steam whistles in there. So if we have a pulse extender there, we'll set it to, say, 20 ticks. We'll do the same thing on this one. Set it to 20 ticks. But we want to delay playing this one until after this one's finished. So if we have a pulse repeater, once again, set to 20 ticks. Now when we power this, it should play one and then the other one. Although I haven't set this one up yet, so let's quickly do that. So this time we need to go lower. We need to set this to an F sharp. Then we need an A sharp, a C sharp, lots of sharp, and an F sharp. Okay, so that should sound good. Let's give it a go. Okay, that was not good. That was not good at all. Maybe I need a different F sharp on this one. Let's try just the default there. And then let's up this one to the higher one. I mean, there's 2 F sharps on each one. I don't really understand that, but well, like I said earlier, I don't understand music really. So that's the first one. Oh, okay, that delay was a little bit weird. Oh, it's because this is powered. So the whole time this is powered, those 20 ticks don't go down until the power runs out. So if we put down a pulse repeater there, then hopefully... Yeah, okay, that sounded much better. Let's try 45 ticks. This is just a random number. See, there's probably like some kind of musical, mathematical thing on how long these should be held, but don't make me say it again. Let's try this. Okay, yeah, that was much better. That was cool. We need more notes, more chords, I should say. And I would imagine we can just repeat this sequence again. And now we just need to program the next set of notes. So this time we need a low A, a mid C, an E, and then another A here. That should be the next chord in our little sequence. Wait a second, I've just repeated the first one again. So it's this one here that's wrong. Is that going to sound better? Yeah. Then we're going to add one more chord at the end, and hopefully that'll be about the same length of time it takes for the door to open in a very dramatic fashion. Now this last one wants an F sharp, then a C sharp. Oh, I went too far. There we go. Then a high F sharp, and then an A sharp in a higher octave. This should be the whole thing. Yep, I like that. That's a nice chord progression. See, look, that's a bit of terminology I learned from the YouTube video I just watched. Oh, wait a minute. Why are my belts not spinning? Did I break something? Oh, I did break something. I broke my door. So yeah, when my door pushed down with the piston, it's pushed all of this as well. How far does the damage go? Quite far. All the way down here as well, it would seem. Right, we've got a bit of repairing to do. So that's the bottom end fixed. Right, there we go. Now we can reattach that. Our belts are going again. Excellent. Problem solved. Now, what I was going to do was replace this button with a redstone link. Get the same signal in that we've got everywhere else. Set that to receive. Just going to change how long the door pauses at the top. Let's maybe say 10 seconds. And I think that might be our door finished. Let's just cover up this. There we go. Oh, now let's test it. I'm excited about this. Now, how dramatic is our door opening? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. Not sure if the chords actually suits what you're walking into, but I do like the addition of the music. So if any of you are particularly musical and you have something a bit more maybe suitable for mini golf, then let me know. I like the length though, 4 chords, but if there's 4 happier chords we could potentially use, let me know in the comments and we'll try some out. Let's just set our lighting back to what it should be. I reckon if we slowed the door down by maybe like 1 or 2 revolutions, then the timing might be perfect. So let's just slow this down to 10. I'm starting to realize I'm going to need a way to access that back bit, so let's just hide a door there. No one will ever know. And let's check the timing now. Oh, it's definitely better. Maybe let's split the difference and set that to 11. Although I just need to reset the door first. I shouldn't have broken that while it was mid-sequence. Just pretend it's raising. And then it's going to wait for 10 seconds. Right, final test. Ah, that was spot on perfect, to the frame. And 10 seconds is more than long enough for people to get in and start playing the game. And because we've got the redstone signal that's now attached to this, we can also use that to start a timer. Excellent. Now, let's go take a look at these new clubs, shall we? So, to make 1 full set of clubs, we're going to need 4 normal cardboard swords. And then we're going to need 4 of each of these. So, how do we make them? Mix them in water. That makes sense. Don't know what else I expected, really. And then if you mix a damp cardboard sword in water, then you'll get a soggy one. So that tells me that I need 12 just normal cardboard swords to begin with. Now let's go make some of them soggy. So let's just get rid of that and the black dye that's in there. Chuck in our sword. And we now have a damp cardboard sword. It's bent. Look at that. That looks hilarious. And if we chuck this one in again, we should get a soggy cardboard sword, which I imagine is going to look even... Oh, geez. Oh, that looks like a sad, sorry sword, doesn't it? But it will do the job just nicely. So let's get 4 of these. Then we need 4 of the damp ones, so take them out after 1 mix. And we should be able to do just the basic knockback enchants down here. So, yep, knockback 1. And we need knockback 1 on that one. And knockback 1 on that one. Then we need knockback 2. We need more levels. That's what we need. But I can't be bothered to go all the way back to my base, so let's check out Chosen's XP shop. So let's just grab 8 of those. Where does it come out? Here? No? Oh, it's right there. Thank you, Orb Baron. And then we can just chow down on this and we'll be able to enchant what we need. So let's knock back 2 for that one. Munch some more levels. Knock back 2 for that one. Now we just need to sort out knockback 3, and as we know, that's a little bit more expensive and a bit more complicated. But then we'll have all 12 clubs we need to be able to work out a shop layout. And I mean, we will try them out as well at some point, but yeah, let's figure this out first. So that's knockback 3. We need 3 of those. Thank you, sir. So if we give you a soggy cardboard sword, give you 1 of them, and... Oh, do I not need to feed you cake this time? Are you already full? Seems to be doing something. That saved me a little bit of money, I guess. We get away with doing another one? We can. How about a 3rd one? Oh, yes, look at that. We didn't have to buy any of this cake. That's good. That meant these clubs were a bit cheaper to make than I thought they were going to be. Which, considering how many we're probably going to need to make, is a good thing. But look at that, a full set of clubs. Now, let's work out a shop. And I know initially we did discuss using that top floor there as sort of the exit of the whole golf course. And I guess it still can be. It just won't be the final hole. I think that's where we're going to put the shop, which means we're going to need a way up there. And pretty much this is the only area in here that's got any space. So I guess we're going to have to put some stairs in here somewhere, which means these boxes have got to go. And I'm just going to grab a shulker for now to put all of these clubs in, just so they don't clog up my inventory. We'll get these all put away. We don't need this stuff. So let's quickly get some stairs in and we'll see what we're working with up there. Oh, it is dangerous up here. Let's get some torches, shall we? Right, that's better. Well, we've got a lot of space up here. And now it's a lot safer as well. Let's quickly get these stairs finished and we'll work out what we're going to do up there. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is actually just block off these random bits at the side. We don't want these. Probably put some torches in there as well. And that's going to give us a nice square room to work with. Now, about the walls in here. I don't think I want the interior walls of this building to be this scoria bricks, especially considering you can see them melting on the outside. That's, yep, not ideal. So I think we're going to coat the walls of the interior here with something else. I just don't know what yet. Maybe we could use bone blocks. That would look quite nice up there. So we could potentially mimic the same palette we've got in the corridor of the 1st and 7th golf holes. Let's get these walls up and see how we're looking. There we go. Now we have a shop floor prepared. We've got plenty of space over this side for selling the clubs and whatnot. And what I want to do over here is put in some kind of a driving range with a selection of test clubs. Just so you can grab one from the wall, do a few hits, see if you like it or not, and then you'll be able to buy them from tables over here. At least that's my current thinking. Now, when it comes to the clubs, we know we've got 12 to sell. So if we were to do maybe 6 on that side and then 6 on this side. In fact, let's move them this way by a block. And then we can stick the entrance to the driving range over this side. We'll have our tablecloths on the top there, although I don't think I like the copper ones. We'll probably change them out. And I want to build some kind of frame around these things. So it's like a proper sort of display rack, I guess. And we're going to want lots of light down here, so maybe we could do this. This might be a bit over the top, but let's see how it works out if we cover it up a little bit. That's looking quite good, actually. We could then maybe have hanging signs, not that way around, obviously, but a bit more like that, so we can indicate what clubs are what. Yeah, I think that could work, although, yeah, I do definitely want to change this, and I'm wondering, maybe we replace the industrial iron and use more bone? Yeah, I think the bone definitely looks a lot cleaner. Let's figure out what tablecloths we want to use. So, I've got some white ones, and I've got some andesite ones. We'll see what looks better. So, white looks pretty good, nice and clean, goes with the bone. Andesite, also quite clean, actually, and it goes with these a bit better. Yeah, I think I prefer the andesite, you know? So I do need to get some more sea lanterns, because we've run out. We'll just pop over to Foxy's shop and get those, but then we'll put another one of these over here. And then I think on a platform at the back here, I'm going to try and build some kind of golf cart. It's going to be extortionately priced. I don't expect anyone to buy it. I just want to have something in here that looks pretty cool and a bit random. And I think a golf cart that you can't actually use on the course would be perfect, and also look pretty cool when you first come up the stairs. But anyway, let's get the rest of these shelving units in first, and we'll figure that out later. There we go, the display units are in. The golf clubs are looking quite ridiculous, to be perfectly honest, but it does the trick. But next up, I think I want to work on the driving range over here, which means I'm going to need a whole bunch of ice, probably lots of green terracotta and concrete, some boards, and a glass wall. I think I want to put a wall in the back here. And we're going to raise this whole section up a block as well, I think, because this is the ceiling for the room below, and I can't really go replacing that with ice. That's just going to look terrible. Our driving range now has an ice floor. We've got some walls up. We've got a nice little separator here. But now what we need to do is actually get this floor covered. I'm going to need more copycat boards than that. One stack is not going to be enough. Right, this should be better. So let's just raise up the back here. And what with this being a driving range, I think we're going to want to be able to measure how far things are going. So I'm going to put a red line in here just to mark the starting spots. And then with the green area, what we're going to do is actually alternate between lime green terracotta and normal green terracotta. And then we're going to have a line effect, and you can see exactly how many blocks your balls are going. So let's just quickly get the floor in, and then we'll figure out a ball collection and delivery system. So there we go. That should work for the measurements. Now for ball collection, what I'm thinking is we'll put a bunch of funnels in there. Let's just remove part of this wall temporarily. And I think we're just going to run a belt along the back here because funnels can deposit directly onto a belt. And then we'll just have that go to a fire in the corner. And in regard to getting balls up here, instead of having dispensers on the floor like we have in the past, I'm just going to have a ball dispenser over here because then the player can actually just come and place their ball down where they want it and do their testing. So for the ball dispenser, I'm literally just going to do something as simple as this. And then every time you click that, you'll get a ball. Although I should probably actually use a redstone requester because that way we can just request one at a time instead of emptying the whole barrel. So let's make one of those, and we need a stock link. Link our requester to it and put that down below. In fact, I'm going to swap around where the barrel and the requester are. So let's put the barrel at the bottom, packager looking into that, link on the back, and a requester on top. We can have that set to request one cobble, stick a button on that. And now we should just get a box with one in it. Perfect. It just means whatever we put in here is now going to last a lot longer. Now let's stick a belt in the back here, and we're going to need to get this thing power as well, actually, thinking about it. And it looks like there's power just down here. So if I just grab some of these and some of these and a few more shafts and maybe another belt, then we should be able to get this sorted in no time. And there we go. We now have our box destroyer. All right, nice. That works well. We can deposit balls from here and destroy them over there. So all we need now is some test clubs for people to use, which means we are going to need to make another set of clubs. And there's 12 of them. So I reckon what we can probably do is make a little frame for them to sit in. So let's do something like this. We'll pop the front out a little bit as well. Maybe replace this background. And then we'll get a bunch of picture frames, a couple of signs, and we'll just hang up all the clubs. So I guess I should probably go make those clubs now, just so it's done. And we are, of course, going to need to make a whole load of clubs to actually sell in the shop. But people might not always want to buy clubs, so over here on this one, we're also going to have rental clubs, and it's just a default set with a putter, a 3-iron, and a 9-iron. I've also put a clipboard with our tickets so that you can actually keep score as you go around, with a polite request to return the clipboards, but you never know, so I have put a whole stack in there for now. For now, though, I'm just going to make the one extra set for the driving range, and then we're going to try and make a golf cart. So, slight problem in that there's only 3 knockback 3 books left in the shop here, but, well, at least we can make one set, I guess. And there we go. That's all our clubs on the wall. We've got our ball dispenser done. We've got our ball destruction system done. Think that's the driving range done, although the walls look a bit bland. We'll sort that out later. So I do need to name all of these clubs still. I don't really know what they're going to be yet. I'll probably do some Googling and work something out. But then we can also add those names to these signs. We need to get these hooked up to the system properly. But we're making good progress. Next up, golf carts. And I'll also put in a request to Chosen to get a whole bunch of knockback 3 books. We're definitely going to need those. Right, so golf carts. Let's see. Is 3 blocks going to be too wide? I think it probably is, and it's going to look a bit weird on the platform as well. So let's see if we can do something that's only 2 blocks wide. This could work. We need to try and make this thing small after all, and I think this is going to be the only way we can do it. Got to make cutbacks somewhere. Right. So let's try maybe sticking a little front on it. In fact, let's make that side the front. We'll make this side the back, which is probably going to want to be a bit more chunky. And I was thinking, for the seats and steering wheel, we've got these yellow bits and a yellow valve handle. I mean, that looks horrific, doesn't it, so far? In fact, at the back here, I've got an idea. How about we do an ender chest and a barrel, and then we stick, like, a little barrier that goes around it? Is that going to work? And then maybe we need, like, a little lip at the front here. Potentially the same at the back. I mean, it's looking pretty bad. Let's try something else. Maybe slabs under here? Not like that, but like that, just to thicken that up a little bit. Then let's put these side bits back. An additional panel there. And then maybe we can use these bite panels on the sides. That might make it look a little bit more normal. Yeah, that's cool. Then maybe slices just along here. Yeah, that's giving it a bit more shape. Don't like these front bits though. Let's maybe give that a flat panel instead. Factory gauges for headlights. That could work. Actually, that looks pretty good. Now, we need some kind of roof on this thing. So we're going to use vertical copycat slices. And I guess we could put them here with a nice gold roof. And I reckon if we just use some of these little copycat bits again, both at the front and the back. I mean, considering the lack of space, I'd say that's not looking too bad. Maybe it just needs a little bit more around the sides. Just a couple of smaller details here and there. But I reckon that's looking pretty good. Yep, there we go. A little toolbox on the back as well. I'll say that's our solid gold golf cart complete. Silly little thing, and we're never going to use it for anything, but I like it. So something else I want to do is put a carpet or a big rug or something on the floor out here. Don't like how bland it's looking, but I don't want it to look too different from the floor, so I'm just using the terracotta here, which complements with the jungle wood nicely. Although it could do with some kind of pattern or something on it. I wonder, could we maybe make it look like one of the robot heads? That's just a really creepy smiley face. Maybe we should just adjust this slightly, put the eyes there. I mean, it's just a little bit eerie, to be honest with you. Could potentially make it look like one of the boxes. If we just do that, nice and subtle. I don't know, we could put pretty much any pattern on here, so maybe let me know your thoughts in the comments and we'll get something up here at some point in future. But yeah, I think it definitely needs something. For now, we'll just leave it as creepy box eyes. So with that in, I think the last thing to do is just to get up some more decorations, maybe a bit of artwork, some posters, things like that. But I am going to need to design those first, so yeah, I'm not sure that'll happen this episode or not. But if I get time to do some photoshopping, then yep, we'll get some new signs up as well. But this corner over here is also looking a little bit bland. I wonder, do you reckon we can maybe fit in a cheeky little bot over here? I mean, if we move the light, we certainly could. Yeah, I reckon that's doable. The question is, do we have what we need in stock? I mean, everything apart from one analog lever. I'd say that's pretty good going, so let's just get that into existence. And I'm assuming the missing lever is, yep, right there on the back of his leg. Excellent. We can fix that. Let's remove this light, because that is not useful for this guy. But what I am going to do is swap out this fan here for a sea lantern, and then he'll glow from within. Wonderful. So let's pose this guy. Let's have him maybe waving. And as soon as that turned into a contraption, he got rid of the sea lantern. That makes me sad. I do still kind of want to rotate his body though, so we're just going to have to come up with somewhere else to put the lights. I'm quite tempted to glue his legs together and actually twist his legs a little bit as well with this one. I think that would look quite cool just because he's standing in a corner here. So let's get this guy glued together and then we'll see what's below. Are we just going to have a random valve hanging from the ceiling? Looks like we might. So let's just set this to only place when anchor destroyed. Get a valve on here. Change the degrees. It looks like we missed a few bits here and there. So let's catch all the extra bits. And try that again. Yeah, that's better. It looks much more natural. So what we can probably do, actually, is remove that. Put a copycat board underneath. There you go. You'd never know. Looking good, buddy. So, golf club names. That's my next challenge. Let's see what we can come up with. Well, it's safe to say I'm now a lot more educated on golf clubs and different types of golf clubs, and I'm hoping that I've got this right. And what I've also done, as you can see, is I've tested every single golf club. I've made sure that the range is now here, so this is how far they hit in blocks. I mean, they are approximate, they can't be perfect, but at least it gives the players an idea of what clubs they might want to use, and some of them are very close. So the 9-iron and the 8-iron, for example, they both hit about 3 blocks, but this one seems to consistently hit just a tiny bit further. And same thing over here with the 5-iron and the 4-iron. So yeah, we do actually have a bent club here that hits slightly further than a straight one, but it's fine, it's fine. But basically, we have ranges from 1 all the way up to range 13. And if we limit people to only 3 clubs per game, then that should offer up a few different strategies for how to get through. I've also divided up the ones on the driving range into short, mid, and long range, once again with the sort of weird swapping around of some of them. But what I need to do now is generate a whole lot more clubs, and I need to actually name the clubs directly, which is going to need a whole lot of levels. Luckily, we have an XP farm that can do that, and I'm not going to make you sit there and watch all of that. That's going to be very, very boring. So that's something I'm going to do between episodes, but I hope you enjoyed this one. It was something a little bit different. We made music. That was a lot of fun. In fact, I want to hear it again. That is incredibly satisfying every time. See you on the next one. Bye-bye now.